See, I'm from Cape Cod, and I was a graffiti artist up in Boston, and then came down here for undergrad. Then went to California for culinary school, and then left culinary school, worked at various restaurants, hotels, places, doing all kinds of stuff: pastries, cheese, hot line, cold line, pizzas, like you name it. I was always in a band, and one day I was like, I want a job where I can actually go on tour. So the only time you really get time off when you're in the restaurant industry is when you quit. So I quit, started a cake shop in my apartment in Mount Vernon, here in Baltimore. And I was able to go on tour, make cakes when I wanted to, make a living, pay my bills, and then it grew into this thing.
How'd the Food Network get involved?
One day, I got a phone call on my cell phone, and I look down, it's Colette Peters, right? I'm like, Colette Peters, I'm in trouble, right? Yeah, I've been ripping off her cake designs for, however many years. And so I picked up the phone, like, hello, and she's like, hey, this is Colette Peters. And I was just like, hey, what's up, And so she was like, do you want to do a cake decorating competition out in Colorado? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I go out to this competition. Had no idea what I was in store for. The theme was nature, right? So I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I'm a pastry chef and someone says to me, make me something involving nature, chances are I'm going to do flowers or the seasons or something random like that. So I chose to go completely different. I made a rolled steel mill finished peach tree. The cakes were the peaches. Jammed a big giant stainless steel screw eye through each one, hung them from the fishing line to the branches, and came in last place. In a weird series of events, basically what happened was the judges were actually scouts from the Food Network. They went back to food and said, hey, now there's this kid who's like 23, 24. He brought an arc welder. He set the table on fire and he made an amazing cake. It was a mess. It was covered in chocolate. Like, tools were everywhere. I was tracking cornstarch all over the floor. These are all things you don't do in competition. So basically, I had one thing the guys didn't, and that was charisma. It's just sort of like, I'm not really thinking in terms of like traditional cake decorating things. This is what I do. I make weird stuff. And so Food Network was like, it's called The Last Place Guy. Sounds good.
How much of your focus do you put on the taste of the cake, and how much do you put on the actual design of the cake?
Taste and design are about 50-50 right now. We get a lot of flack from people like, oh yeah, I've seen the cakes on TV, they look dry, right? It's like, okay. Until they invent taste-o-vision or smell-o-vision or any other kind of vision, I don't think you can accurately make a decision about what a cake tastes like by watching it on television. But that's just me. Call me crazy. But our cakes taste very good. People that write on blogs pretty much have nothing better to do.
So did you?
Sensitive subject.
Glad I asked. You prefer obviously the weird stuff.
Actually, not really.
Really?
Yeah. About 90% of our business is like traditional pancakes. It's just the weird stuff that gets featured on TV because that's what really captivates me. Like, wow, it's so crazy.
But you prefer to do that kind of stuff? Or yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't prefer one or the other. I just love to make cakes. We've definitely gotten some flack about like, oh, your cakes are too expensive, and it's just like, well, they're not too expensive because
It's funny that after
we're normal people who live normal lives, rock stars. B, we do what other people won't. If somebody wants a motor in their cake, we'll do that. If somebody wants fireworks, if they want lights, if they want any kind of anything, we'll do that. Most, pretty much all bakers will be like, no, I don't know how to wire up a motor. It's like, okay, we do. So, we do. I'm just the guy who owns the place. These guys are free to think and go and come as they please. Kind of thing. We share everything equally, you know. Even though technically I'm the one that gets paid for the show, it gets spread out. Everyone gets an equal share. So we're all paid the same.
What's next for you? Where do you go? I mean, do you open a second shop? Do you, what's the next step? Because, I mean, obviously you've made it. You did what you set out to do.
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. There are lots of studios in Hollywood that keep asking for cakes.
Moving or setting up a second shop?
We will never leave Baltimore, but we might expand to one location.
Somewhere closer.
What's that?
Somewhere closer to there in California.
Probably. I'm going out in 3 weeks to look at property in Los Angeles. Trying our conclusion from that.
Okay. Well, congratulations.